Good morning, students. Welcome back to my channel. Once again, Sanjeev Sharma English tutorial. And today I have brought before you the chapter number 4 of Flamingo for class 12th, Rat Trap, written by Selma Lagerlof. I hope that you will all be listening to me attentively by avoiding my follies. So here I start it. Rat Trap is one of the wonderful creations thrown up by Selma Lagerlof. Selma, S-E-L-M-A, Lagerlof, L-A-G-E-R-L-O-F. Selma Lagerlof, she was a Swedish writer, author and a teacher as well. She was born on 20th January 1858 and died on 16th March 1940. She started her career in the English literature with her debut novel, Gösta Berling Saga. At that time, her age was just merely 33 years old. And after that, one after one by one after one, so many novels and so many stories she has given to English literature. And that's why she is having eminent and prominent place in the history of entire English literature. And because of her creations, she has got a worldwide popularity. Throughout her novels and throughout her stories, she has given a wonderful thing, a wonderful message, and Rat Trap is one of them. So Rat Trap. So boys and girls, first of all, before starting the chapter, I would like to throw light on its title, the significance of title. Rat Trap, R-A-T-T-R-A-P. What does it mean? Rat Trap is a word which is a combination of two words. R-A-T, rat, rat means mouse, and T-R-A-P, trap. Trap means to capture. Pakadna means chuha pakadna. So how do we capture a mouse? With the help of a device whom we call chuhedani. So rat trap is the means. Rat trap, it means that chuhedani. Yes, it means. So Selma Lagerlof, she has given a wonderful theme over here. She has metaphorically conveyed this world as a rat trap. Like in the rat trap, we are having a bait, B-A-I-T. Bait, it's like a temptation. In Hindi translation, it's like a chara, which we are keeping in order to capture, in order to attract the mouse. Whenever the mouse or rat, it is just entering into the rat trap, and because of the bait, so as he touches the bait, so he is captured inside the rat trap. Similarly, in the world, so many greeds are there, so many selfishness are there. Because of those greed, because of those selfishness, we are found ourselves in a big trouble. We don't think about the adverse effect later on, but we simply get attracted towards them. And one more thing, the writer, she has conveyed throughout this story, she has conveyed that suppose if you have good nature, if you have kindness and generosity in your heart and mind, with the help of your kindness, with the help of your generosity, you can be able to change the cruel person into a good noble man. So this theme has beautifully been depicted by the writer Selma Lagerlof with the help of a peddler, a vagabond. Let me clear up peddler, P-E-D-D-L-E-R, peddler or vagabond, V-A-G-A-B-O-N-D. Peddler or vagabond, literal translation in Hindi is like avara, ghumakkad, the person who roams, means who walks from one place to another to another without any work. So there is a vagabond who has been shown here. Actually, he was a jobless and homeless person. He used to collect some iron wires from the shops of scrap dealer and factories and some other places. And with the help of those iron wires, he started making some nonsense rat traps and started moving from one place to another to another in order to sell his product. But his business was going in vain. His business was going in loss because nobody wanted to purchase his rat traps. So that's why he was hungry. He could not be able to bear with even a single time bread. And because of his the hungerness, because of his poverty, it was allowing him, it was attracting him towards the stealing, towards the robbery, and towards the wrong deeds. So the story gets started. One day, the vagabond, the peddler, he reaches at an isolated place. The place which was completely unknown to him. It was the winter evening and it was the month of December ending, nearby Christmas. So When it was the evening time and the darkness swept around to him and he started getting panic. Where would he go? Because everywhere he found only jungles and forest, or except wood, nothing was to be seen over here. But luckily, he found there was a hut meant. Yes, HUT hut means chopdi. There was a hut he had seen over there, and he got happy and he had decided himself to have a shelter at least for a single night in that hut meant. So tremendously straightforward, he went in front of the door and knocked it. The owner of the hut, it was a crofter. Crofter means he was a farmer who was working in the fields of Ramsjo Iron Mill. Ramsjo Iron Mill, Ramsjo, Ramsjo Iron Mill, Ironmil. So Ramsjo Iron Mill, it had so much agriculture land. That's why he was working in the fields of Ramsjo Iron Mill. And there he opened the door of his hutman and he was surprised to see the man who was unknown to him. And he asked about his identity. At that, the peddler, the vagabond, he replied that he was a rat trap seller and he was coming to this place which was completely unknown to him. So if he allowed him, he wanted to stay back at least for a single night. The crofter immediately allowed the peddler because the crofter, he lived alone. He didn't have any family members. He didn't have any wife. He didn't have any kids. He didn't have any other family members. For a long lasting period, for years after years, he had been living there the life of isolation. At least he got happy that he had got the company of a person at least for a single night. He had given him warm welcome. He welcomed him and closed the door. And as he got entered inside, the crofter offered the peddler the hot porridge. Porridge. Porridge means dalia. It was a supper. Supper. Supper means evening meal, liquid meal. So he had given little bit supper and after that some tobacco. Tobacco. Tobacco means for smoking. He had taken little bit tobacco for smoking and both of them after smoking they started playing the games. Okay, the playing cards. The name of the game was Majolis, Mjolis. Till late midnight, both of them played the playing cards, and after that, the conversation started taking place between the two. They were talking to each other. Throughout their conversation, the crofter, he had told the peddler that he had been living there for a long lasting period without family because he had no wife, no kids, no family members. At that, the peddler, he started asking how could he survive for his livelihood. At least suppose the person who had been living in the world, he needed some money. So that's why the question was there in his mind. How could he manage the money for his food and some other essential goods of life? Then the crofter, he replied that he had a cow and by selling its product, by selling its milk, he could earn 30 kronors per month. Yes, boys and girls, pay attention. Kronor, Kronor. Kronor, it's the currency of Sweden. As I depicted in the beginning, that Selma Lagerlöf, she was a Swedish writer. So she was from Sweden. So this is the currency of Sweden, right? So he had shown, he said that 30 kronors he was having, but at that time, the peddler, he didn't believe. Then immediately the crofter, he went nearby the window pane. There was a window and just along with the window, there was a nail, Nail. Nail means khuti. And there was a leather pouch, it was hanging on over the nail. And he picked the leather pouch, he opened it and took out the three notes of 3 kronors he had taken outside. 10 kronors, 3 notes he was having, and he had shown to the peddler that he was having 30 kronors as an evidence. And then he put the money back into the pouch and folded it, just he hanged over the nail. So this was like a temptation. This was like a bait in the mind of the peddler, and he silently made a plan in his mind that he wanted to steal the money. This was like a bait. And the next morning when both of them they got up and after having a little light breakfast, both of them they had left their place. The crofter went to his fields and the peddler, he started moving on his way. But as per his planning, after some time he returned back and just came nearby the window pane. He smashed the window pane with his hand and broken the mirror. And then he put his hand inside. Then he had taken the leather pouch from the nail, took it outside, opened the chain, took the 30 kroners, put in his pocket, then closed it and hanged the pouch over there. Then he had run away from there. Now this time he had been running towards the main road, but after some time the idea got in his mind. There was an idea, it was striking to his mind that he could be caught by the police. Suppose if he would be moving on the main road. So in place of the road, he decided to get entered into the jungle. And he entered into densely tangled jungle. And he was moving and moving and moving and going and going and going. Sand, then it was a morning time, then afternoon, then evening. Now when the evening was coming, after that evening, it was a time for the night. The darkness swept around to him and he got panicked. He got feared because the previous night he had got a shelter at the house of the crofter. Now where would he go? It was purely isolated place. Here there only trees were to be seen. Only jungle was to be seen. Where to go, what to do, he couldn't understand. And in a sense of panic, and he laid down on the grass. But luckily he started hearing the faint sound. Faint, faint means halki si. He started listening the faint sound of the hammer. Hammer. Hammer means hathoda. That somebody was thumping the hammer on an iron. And he got an idea. There must be an iron mill in his surrounding, in his neighbor. So that's why he got happy and he got up quickly. And by following the sound from which direction it had been coming, he started moving in that direction. And after half an hour approximately, he found himself on the main gate of Ramsjo Iron Mill. Ramsjo, Ramsjo, Ironmill. Ramsjo Iron Mill, I have depicted all of you. So he found himself Ramsjo Iron Mill and he got happy. Without any permission, he opened the gate and got entered inside, and there he saw there was a blacksmith. Blacksmith means luhar. Blacksmith. Blacksmith along with his apprentice. Apprentice. Apprentice means chela. The blacksmith and the apprentice, both of them, they had been thumping the hammer on the iron mill, on the iron, just in front of the furnace. Furnace. Furnace means bhatti, aag ki bhatti. And the peddler, he went in front of the blacksmith and sought the permission if he allowed him to stay back at least for a single night. But the blacksmith, he didn't take care towards him and he continued his work. The peddler, he got his message. If he slept there, he would have no objection, just in front of the furnace, and he lay down on the land, on the ground, and he slept away because little bit heat was coming for the furnace and he was sleeping. In the midnight, nearby 12 o'clock, the iron master, the owner of Ramsjo Iron Mill, he paid a visit over there. It was completely darkness. Little bit faint light of the furnace was coming, and little bit face, he started looking towards the person who was lying on the ground. This person, who is this person? And carefully he started observing the face of that man. First of all, he started thinking that he was known to him, and he mistook him as one of his old acquaintance, one of his old friends, Niels Olf. Nils, Niels Olf, Olf. And he asked, "Oh my dear friend, what happened? What is your condition? See, your mustache and beard have been increased. You are looking like a beggar. Oh my God, why did you come to me?" Means I'm your one of the old friends. Then the peddler, he got surprised. "Excuse me, sir." Means, how do you know me? Means that I am a red trap seller, I am a vagabond, I am a peddler, sir. I don't know that you are just calling me Niels Olf, and what kind of name you are taking. Then the iron master, he carefully started observing his face once again. Then he was sure that no, he was not Niels Olf. He was one of his old friends, Captain Von Stale. Captain, Captain, Von Stale, Stale, Stale. Then he asked, "Oh my God, Captain, what happened to you? Your friend is alive and see your condition. Just listen to me. take your bag and everything and just come to my home. My doors are always open for you. But the peddler, he denied. Excuse me, sir. I am not your friend. I told you that I am simply a rat trap seller. Means you are calling me again and again. Sometimes Niels Wolf. Sometimes you are calling Captain Wonsdale. No, Captain. Then the Ironmaster, he said, Captain, means that you would have to come along with me. I beg you that I know that you are one of the old friends. I know that you are facing some bad time, but even then, it's my obligation. I must help you out. He was requesting, the Ironmaster was requesting, but the peddler was denying. He was requesting, he was denying. He was requesting, he was denying. At last, the peddler, he had completely denied that he was not ready to go along with him. Then the peddler, he had to go along. The blacksmith was surprised, along with his apprentice. When the Ironmaster, he had gone away, again the peddler, he slept over there. But after half an hour approximately, the daughter of Ironmaster, her name was Edla Wilmenson. Boys, please note it down the name. Edla, Edla Wilmenson. Willmanson. Edla Wilmenson. So, after some time, Edla Wilmenson, she paid a visit over there, and she was having a fur coat along with her servant. She paid a visit to Ramsjo Iron Mill, and she got entered inside. She was a very kind-hearted woman. Her physical appearance was not good, but even then, from inside, her heart was very good. She was a soft-spoken, she was a polite, kind and generous lady, and very politely, very humbly, she started asking the peddler, "Good morning, Captain. My father, he had said to me to fetch you at his home. You had denied to my father, and you are the friend of my father. It means you are like my uncle, that you would have to come with me." She was speaking so politely, she was speaking so generously that the peddler, he could not deny, and he accepted the fur coat from Edla Wilmanson. And along with her, he got ready immediately to go back to her home. The blacksmith and the apprentice, they started observing both of them with open mouth in this way. What happened? This peddler, this vagabond, first of all, father was requesting, then daughter had taken. Oh my goodness. But anyhow, the peddler, after some time, he reached at the house of the bungalow of the Ironmaster, and there he had taken a bath, and he had done his grooming, his shaving and everything he had done. Then he had worn a beautiful court suit, and then in the daylight, in the early morning, he came in front of the Ironmaster. Then the Ironmaster, he recognized him. "Oh my God, you are not my friend." Then the rat trap seller, the peddler, he replied back that, "Yes, that's why I said to that I am not your friend. You mistook me that one of your old friends, Captain Wonsdale. Then you had sent your daughter. Even I was denying to you that you had forced me to come at your home." Then the Ironmaster, he got angry. "Immediately you would have to leave my home. Otherwise I would call the police, that you would have to reply in front of the police officer." Then the rat trap seller, he lost his temper and he thumped his hand on the table. "Listen, mister, it was not my fault. It was you who had brought me at your home. It was your daughter who had brought me at your home. And you simply are going to blame on me that I have entered at your home? How dare you talk to me like that?" At that, the Ironmaster, he said, "Okay, relax, my dear, relax. It was a Christmas morning." Then he said, without me creating any noise, without creating any scene, "Just you leave my place, leave my palace and go away." When the peddler, he was about to go, immediately Edla Wilmanson, the kind lady, the daughter of the Ironmaster, she interrupted in between by saying, "Oh dear father, listen to me. There is no fault of this peddler. There is no fault of this poor man. It was your mistake purely. First of all, you mistook him as one of your old friends. You mistook him as one of your old acquaintance, and he was denying. And moreover, he didn't hide his identity in front of you that he was a rat trap seller. And you are just creating a nuisance for him, and you are ordering him to live at his home. It is like an insult. We are not inhuman, father, and moreover, it's a Christmas." Then she requested her father that we can allow this poor man at least to have good meal, good meal and good hospitality at our home. The iron master he could not deny the polite request of his daughter, and the peddler was allowed to stay back at least for the Christmas Eve at their home. The peddler he enjoyed the good meal, and after that he had slept away. Then he awoke in the afternoon. He took beautiful good lunch, yummy lunch. Then again he slept away in the night. He got up and he took food, and he was offered some gift. The coat, pant, the suit which he was wearing, it was gifted by the iron master to him. The next morning, the iron master and Edla Wilmanson, both of them, they paid a visit to the church for their morning prayer. After their morning prayer, there they came to know that there was a crofter of their fields. He had been robbed by a person who was a rat trap seller. Immediately, the iron master he got a message in his mind. My God, the thief is at my home. The red trap seller, the same red trap seller, the vagabond, the peddler. Oh my God, now what would he steal at my home? Immediately, along with his daughter, he returned back to his home. On his journey back to his home, so many thousands of thoughts were coming in his mind. What kind of things we might have taken? He might have taken my silver spoons. He might have taken my rupees, my wooden cups, my crockeries, and some other things. And he was making some planning in his mind. What would I do? Suppose if I caught that bastard. In this way, after some time, both of them they came in front of their main gate. There, the watchman and he greeted both of them. The iron master asked whether the peddler was inside or not. The watchman he replied back that he had left the place. Then iron master he started feeling repentance. Oh my God, we have got late. Now tell me watchman, what kind of thing he had taken? Then the watchman replied, sir, he has not taken anything, and rather than he had gifted a beautiful gift for the ma'am, for Edla Wilmanson. Then Edla she got surprised. For me? Yeah, show me. Then, oh, red trap. It was covered with a cloth, and it was gifted by the peddler, and the watchman he handed over into the hands of Edla Wilmanson. Edla she unfolded the cloth and she found the 30 kronors in a bad condition. They were inside the red trap, and there was a letter inside it, and she took the letter and folded it and started reading. This was like an this was an apologetical letter written by the peddler himself, the vagabond himself. In that letter, the vagabond, he had kept a promise. Oh dear Edla Wilmanson, it was your kindness, it was your politeness, it was your generosity, it was your good thinking that you had changed my heart from a bad person into a noble person. I beg you that means to return the 30 kronors of the crofter whose money I had stolen the previous night. It's my humble request to return this money back to him, and I keep a promise to you that means for my next life I would never be stealing in my entire life. And I'm coming to celebrate my Christmas next year on the same day, your Captain Von Stale. So Edla Wilmanson, she got tremendously happy to see that letter, that she could be able to change the heart of a cruel person into a good man, into a noble man. And this was a great sudden change she had done. It was the impossible thing. She had done it as possible because of her kindness, because of her politeness, because of her generosity, that she brought a sudden change into the heart and mind of the peddler, and he had been changed into a human being. So this story, here it is the end of the story, and this story has conveyed a beautiful thing, as I depicted in the beginning, that Selma Lagerlöf, she has conveyed a message that with the help of our generosity, with the help of our politeness, we can bring a sudden change into the heart and mind of the people. And so many baits are there, so many temptations are there in the world, and because of our greed we are attracted towards them, and that definitely we find ourselves in a trouble. And we must avoid these greed just looking like a bait for us, and definitely behind them there is a bad deed hidden, so we should be avoiding it. And this message beautifully has been conveyed, the example of peddler and vagabond. So boys and girls, learn the question answers, revise short answer type question, long answer type question, which I will send you on your WhatsApp numbers. So I hope that you had enjoyed this video once again. So just like this video, share it, subscribe my channel. Thank you once again. So see you later on for with the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.